All right, live right on time. I'm supposed to be up here on the mic. Okay, everybody. Ha! Today's going to be a hell of a show, and I'm glad you're all already here. It's good to see a bunch of my friends in chat, and the rest of you, I'm looking forward to meet. So tonight I'm going to be doing something different. I usually write down and work off paper because it's easier to look down, but tonight I have my show here on the screen. So my eyes may be different places and I may stumble over that a little bit, but I think having it electronically will make it easier for me to keep the notes. So for those of you, any of you who are new, I'm Ethan Evans. I am Vice President of Twitch Prime at Amazon, but I don't talk about Twitch or Amazon on stream, and what I have to say, I don't represent them here. I talk for myself. So I'm here to coach you and help you speedrun your career. And so let's get into it. Last week, we talked about having a career plan. And you can go see that show. It's on my VOD. It's on my YouTube. This week, we're going to talk about putting that plan into action. So forget the plan. What the hell are you going to do about it? So we'll talk about the plan only a little bit, but it's about what are you going to do. So before we get started, though, hey, thank you, Pashi. I appreciate the sub very much. And I got an emote. I wonder what emote I got. Sweet. Let's see. There we go. All right. Drink of the week. New tradition that we've been doing for a couple weeks now. Here is my drink of the week. And it's a lemon drop martini made by the mixologist and quite good. Sugar rim. I am a sweet tooth. No denying it. Second thing, if I stare off into space and seem to lose my train of thought tonight, it actually isn't anything to do with the drink of the week. I had to go to the doctor this morning. Doctors love you to be in. I'm fine, just a routine thing. But for the appointment I had to get up at 3:30. So if I seem out of sorts, you're getting me unfiltered because of no sleep. So it's like the old days of all-nighters in school, only I'm not the same age. So rock on. Yeah, I actually had fun being up all night. Yeah, 3:30 a.m. is when I got up. And I had fun because the house was quiet and I could do work and research things. I get a ton of work done in the middle of the night. Unfortunately, the rest of my family are not night owls, so I don't get to do that too often. But I love the middle of the night. It's dark, it's quiet, there's nobody to bother you. It's my inner introvert that no one believes I have, because since I'm a leader and I talk on stream, everybody thinks I'm a natural extrovert, but I like peace and quiet to get stuff done. All right, couple quick things. First, Devin and I were going to stream together on Friday. We were going to kick off our show called The Twitch Pitch, but we're not going to do that this Friday because we don't have it ready to do at the quality level we believe in. So Devin and I are going to get together Friday instead off stream and plan the show. And so we're going to bring you a better show in January, having done it right. And I've already seen some of the video he's put together to promote it. Man, that young man can market. So, all right, what time do I sleep? I normally go to sleep at 10 and get up at 8. Actually, that's a great point. We'll talk about that. Color Supreme, thank you for your compliments earlier, and bring that question up in a little while. I want to talk about an article called Manage Your Energy, Not Your Time. Anyway, though, what this means is that this is our last stream until January, because it's holidays, because it's Christmas. Who knows? I might get bored and show up completely unannounced and do a totally impromptu stream at some point. So if you see it on Discord, jump on in. But I'm not going to have anything else scheduled until January 8th, when we're going to have Kristen back. Kristen is one of our success stories on the channel. She got promoted to manager in her new job, and we're going to have her on. We're going to have her on January 8th at 8 p.m. to talk about what it's like to have switched to the dark side with me and to rule over legions of adoring followers. I mean, to manage a team, to lead a team. Okay. Oh, and there she is. The new what's like? Is there a female form of dictator? I don't know. It's not like a common question. Anyway, since we're having fun, somebody in chat can come up with that. The questions are piling up. Oh, good. Hey, Sean, good to see you. Sean's an amazing leader. He's an entrepreneur in his own right. He can give Hephaestus a run for his money because they both run their own companies. Queen Tater. They're called wives. Oh, Will, you're digging a hole there, buddy. That's a brave one to come out into the chat with. Yeah, that's a common stereotype. All right, so let's get after it. It wouldn't be fun to start with anything else but the first rant of the week. Now, I know Live Sports loves my rants, and so we're going to do the first rant right now. And the rant here is, how often have you sat at your desk or whatever it is you do for however many hours you do it, surfing the web or reading email or watching Twitch because you're just too mentally exhausted to tackle the next thing you should be doing? You know what you should be doing. You know that what you're doing is actually wasting time, and you'd like to do something more valuable, but you just can't bring yourself to do it. So, yeah, I see people in chat saying yes. Well, it happens to me too. And I know it happens to Devin. He was talking about it today on his stream. So you've got a couple executives, and you've got Sean and Hephaestus who can give their opinions at least. I don't know who else we have in chat who's an executive or runs their own company. But sometimes you just don't have the energy. So the first tip tonight, something you can do to have more impact right now. I've spent my whole life trying to be a good time manager. Like, I'm going to be disciplined and I'm going to manage my time and I'm going to schedule only important things and I'm going to keep the busy work and the bullshit off my calendar. And I failed. I end up in my inbox and sucked into things that give me that little pop of reward where I just click on the next thing in email and I can feel good. Like, oh, I deleted it. Ooh, I replied. Ooh, I filed it. And it's pathetic. But like today when I got back from the doctor, I had 60 some emails piled up and I'm like, I got to click on them all and know what they are. And inbox 0 because I'm an addict. And this is no different than gaming. You get driven into these feedback loops where you're like, I solved it. I replied. Some of that stuff has to be done, but it's being driven. Your inbox is being driven by other people's priorities. And so wherever you work, there is something like an inbox in your life. It may be something else. It may be people putting paper on your desk. It may be your boss telling you something. It may be a customer service queue. I don't know what your mental equivalent of people shoving shit into your life is, but pretty much every job has that. And entrepreneurs are not exempt. Okay, you run your own company. There's still tons of people, your employees and everyone else, customers shoving shit in front of you and like, me first, because this is important. Here's tip 1 for today. What is important to you may not be what's important to that person. They have a top priority, and one of their goals, which we're going to talk about, is to make their top priority your top priority. And if you let them do that, you will make them happy maybe, but you will constantly be operating on someone else's agenda. And Facebook link is broken for me. Yeah, it might be. Thank you for that. We'll see about getting it fixed. I appreciate that. We changed the branding. So I'll have to deal with that later. Damn it. You guys are right. It's the old Easy Coach link. That is totally my bad. Yeah. It should be the Ethan Evans VP link. So we'll get that fixed, but I'm not going to do it live on stream here. So thank you, though. Good call out. The rebranding effort we have, just like changing from Easy Coach to just my name, has been a huge pain in the ass. But let me switch over to this because I want to talk about the question that was asked. The question was asked about when do I sleep? So I have a coach, just like I recommend you guys have a coach, and I'll put this link in chat right now. I have a coach, and she put me onto this article, and it's pretty good. So first, in Devon speak, in meme speak, it's 5-head. And pretty much anything, by the way, in Harvard Business Review is going to be 5-head. So the great thing about our audience here and this chat is we have people who are professionals and who want to learn and want to get better. And so stuff being 5-head is totally fine. But yeah, Duke of Thought, I used to say that actually, that sleep is for the weak. I used to actually say, we had a saying at Carnegie Mellon coined by a friend of mine. He said, sleep is the last refuge of the weak and insecure. And when you're your age, because Duke, we've talked, you can get away with that. When you're my age, it just doesn't work anymore. And so this article, it's not that long, and it's free, right? Like you get free articles on Harvard Business Review. But it's all this stuff. It's a bunch of stories, but it doesn't take long to read. And then basically it talks about the fact that being energetic and being able to focus on the top 1 or 2 things you need to do is way more important. Being able to focus and have your mind work well is way more important than how much work you do. And that's going to be the theme of our talk tonight. You can call it work smarter, not harder. Generally, you have to do some of each. But the reason you have to work hard is to get the bullshit work out of the way so you can do the few important things. So I recommend you read this offline, but it talks about the value of getting enough sleep. And Duke of Thought, there's plenty of research that shows, it's really funny actually, the first night you go with limited sleep, you know you're dumber. So tests will show you're dumber, that you're not as quick mentally, but you won't feel. Let me switch back over here. You won't feel, the first day you will feel dumber. See, I didn't have any sleep, so I do feel dumber. But the second day, if you go with limited sleep, you actually no longer believe that you're dumber. Statistically, you adjust to it and you feel like, I got this, man. I'm a stud. I can go on 5 hours a night. Look at how sociable I am and how quick I am. And meanwhile, you're actually drooling out of both corners of your mouth. But you don't even realize it anymore. But the tests show. So, all right. Let's see. The second night you don't recognize you're dumber. That is completely true. Banhammer. All right. It's good to see all our friends here. Welcome in. So tonight we're talking about simple thing, more impact now, simple stuff you can do right away. So first thing, manage your energy. And why the hell are you going to manage your energy? Well, last week we talked about career plans. Career plans are great. Go see that talk if you didn't get it. But a plan is only useful if you can put it into action. And the place where a lot of people stall, they have lots of plans that don't get turned into action. And a plan that doesn't get turned into action is called a hope or a dream, but it's not a strategy. Great saying, pithy quote, hope is not a strategy. Well, a plan with no action is also useless. So the first one somebody else said, the second one I just said. Probably other people have said that too. But once you have a plan, whether it's a career plan or a plan at work, what are you going to do? The key to more impact now, I have found, is pretty simple. The thing you can do, so here's the meat of the show tonight. You want everything in one clip? Here it is. If you do one worthwhile thing a day, the most important thing you could do for your plan and for wherever you work, whether you work for yourself, work for somebody else, whatever your company needs or your personal rule the world, be God of wealth and power plan, if you do one actual most important thing a day, you're done. Why? Because most people get sucked into the Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, email, too tired to give a shit loop we talked about. And so if you do one thing a day, now you say, wait, one thing, what's one thing going to do? One thing isn't going to make me rich. One thing isn't going to make me a great executive. one thing isn't going to get it done. True. But there's 250 work days in a standard year. 2 weeks off, 50 working weeks, 5 days a week, 250 days. If you do that most important thing 250 days in a row, and then if you need to, 250 more and 250 more because careers are long, you jump ahead of all the people who are drooling over YouTube or lost in Facebook or tracking the latest beep on their phone for the Twitter sphere, or Snapchat or TikTok, or pick any instant distraction. And realize those channels are built. Those channels are built to snatch your attention. They're designed, right? They sell attention. All of the social networks sell your time. That is their whole business. Understand that. And don't get me wrong, I use Discord, I use Facebook, I use lots of social networks. Twitch is a kind of social network. All of them sell your time. They suck you in, they keep you, they sell your time to somebody else. That is their business. Okay, so don't ever misunderstand that. If you haven't heard the quick saying, if a product is free, then you are the product because you're being pulled in by the free product and resold to somebody else. Gmail is free. Yeah, they're reading your email in order to know what you're interested in so that they can target you more effective ads. There's nothing unethical, unfair, or deep state or whatever about this. It's just business. But understand that's what companies do. Companies are not moral or amoral. Leaders might be. Companies are just machines that turn time and energy into money. That's what they do. That's what they're designed to do. So coming back to this point, do the one most important thing every day. Now, if you're some Color Supreme, you are a product. And closing off the answer to your question earlier, I try to go to sleep at 10 and get up at 6. Now, my personal schedule would be to go to sleep at 2 a.m. and get up at 10 a.m. And that's what I did through college because I could, and what I did when I started my career because as an engineer, I could work on that schedule. And as long as I got my shit done, nobody cared. That's my natural schedule. I love the night. I hate the morning. But family and kids and commute and whatever, I've had to become a morning person, where become means learn to comply. It does not mean love it. But that's okay. That's what I would do. Heavy P, I like being an engineer. Learn to comply is real, Color Supreme. Like, if you join a big corporate system like I did with Amazon, I worked in startups before, there are rules and norms, and some of them aren't worth fighting, right? They aren't worth pushing back on. You're not going to change them and you're going to lose. So that's a trade-off you make. We haven't had this show, and it's like a different rant. But learn to accept your trade-offs and don't bitch about them. If you pick a trade-off and you accept it, like, then don't regret it. It's hard to do, but if you decide you're going to work at a corporation, understand that corporation has norms that help you succeed and get along within it, and either accept them and join, but like, don't go there thinking you're going to change a company the size of Amazon and reset their meeting schedule. Actually, there were a bunch of people at Amazon, a bunch of MBAs joined Amazon like 10 years ago, and it's like a t-shirt and jeans culture, and they wanted to change it to be like East Coast button down. So for years, they wore shirts like this and slacks and loafers as like a gang, and and it failed because we're in Seattle and like fleece and jeans is the uniform, and they weren't going to make it a Philadelphia or New York company by wanting, even though they were East Coast MBAs and that was their plan. Damn. So for anybody who came in late, drink of the week is a lemon drop martini, and it's very good. All right. So let me run you through. If you have questions about how to have an impact, you all know the rules. There's a bunch of you here. I haven't looked. I'm going to switch over and look. All right, there's a bunch of questions in, and some people have voted, so that's good. We'll start answering questions on stream here in just a minute, and I love to do that. Let me run you through the key points, though. So I said do this one thing. That's great. Let me take you through a few actual steps on that. So if you want to have more impact now, fight to do just one impactful thing a day. Ask yourself this. How many days, because it happens to me all the time, how many days do you go through a whole day and you in fact have no idea what the most important thing you should have done is, so you don't know if you've done it, or you did know what the most important thing to do was, but because of busy work, interventions, meetings, other people, you didn't actually do it. And so the whole day goes past, and the thing you knew you had to do, you didn't get done. Now, this is important in a bunch of ways because it happens to all of us, and we all have those failed days. But those failed days are lost to you. I've been reading this book. Devin recommended it to me, Very Five Head, which is Lucius Seneca, Letters from a Stoic. And one of the things he points out, which is more real to me than some of you who are younger, we don't actually die on a given day. Our whole lives we're in the process of dying. And every day behind us is already dead to us. It's already gone. We can't change it. We can't use it. Well, that day where I didn't do the most important thing is lost to me. It's literally dead to me. So I try and think about that now. Like, today is the only time I'll have today make an impact. So, steps. Duke of Thought, that is one way to do it. And we're going to talk about exactly that. So, good comment. Here are the steps. First, you have to identify what the most impactful thing is. So that's where Kristen was saying planning is important. And where last week I talked about having a career plan, well, having a plan at your work for how you're going to turn that into action also matters. So you've got a career aspiration. What is your next step? What are you going to do today to move forward? If you know what the most impactful thing is, great. You're a perceptive, insightful worker. That's step one. If you don't know, ask your boss, ask your peers. What is the most important thing I can do for the business today? It's actually a fun question to ask your boss if you don't already know, or if you shouldn't already know. See if they know, because they may not be thinking about it. They may be like, I don't know, go back to your desk and leave me alone. That's what's really important. If that's their answer, it's a little scary. But look, once you know, it's sure. Once you know what you're going to do, then exactly to the point Duke of Thought just made, work overtime or at night if you have to, but let no day end without doing that one thing. And I'm going to be honest with you all, because I had this doctor's appointment today, and then I wanted to get ready for this stream. At this moment, at 6:25 p.m. where I'm sitting, I have not thought about what the most important thing I need to do for my job is, and I haven't done jack shit. So after I get off stream and eat dinner, I'm going to have to do that to live up to my own rules. The good news is I'm super clear on that. So I have to figure out what I'm going to do and do it. But if you set a strategy of know what you need to do and do it, you can. And so I can always slant this. Like, the single most important thing, going to the doctor this morning was important to my health. And if you're not healthy, you're screwed. And then you're dead. Specifically, I was having a colon cancer screening. Yay, if anybody knows about those, not pleasant. But the point is, my father died of colon cancer. So for me, having a colon cancer screening was the most important thing, and I pushed everything else away. So I had to, that was the most important thing. So I could rest on my laurels and say, okay, I did that. But the reality is I want to do something else, and I'm going to figure out what that is and do it. So step one, figure out what to do. Step two, Duke of Thought, like he says, do not rest until you deliver value. Step 3, get good at pushing off anything and everything until you've done the most important thing. So normally, I figure out on my commute in on the way to work, and this is my tip number 4, use your morning shower or commute to figure out what is the one thing you should do, and then damn well do it. And push off anything you have to get that one thing done. Because try and imagine the difference, not today, not tomorrow, but at the end of next year. So it's the end of 2020, and you're about to have 2020 hindsight. How ironic. 2020, and you're going to have 2020 hindsight. And you're looking back on your year, and you've either routinely done the most important thing, or you've routinely managed your inbox and watched a lot of YouTube. Which of those is going to help you speedrun your career and be happy? Okay? Step 5. Everything else takes care of itself because most others don't do this most important thing. So, of course, you think, well, I'm pushing off all this other stuff. I'm saying no to things. I'm not doing it. How does that work out? I want to share another article. This one's written, I've talked about this maybe once before, but it'll probably be new to most of you. This is written by a distinguished engineer of robotics at Amazon. Extremely smart guy. Been there even longer than me, I think. So more than 15 years. Incredibly successful. And it's got a great title. It's called Selective Negligence. So let me put this over in chat. 1 second. Here we go. Here's the link. But you can just Google Brad Porter's Selective Negligence and you will get this. So this is basically his story about how he got good at just ignoring things. Just ignoring stuff that was a distraction. So, selective negligence is about deciding to be negligent in some of what you know you're supposed to be doing. Because supposed to. Who said supposed to? Who came up with this supposed to? I don't know. It's always a they. They said I had to. It's the mysterious, like, my favorite phrase, and I could have a whole rant on this. Chalupa, are you still here? Because maybe we'll schedule the rant for some future time. But the rant, and see, I picked up my drink. When it's rant time, those two may subconsciously go together. The rant is the phrase, someone should do something. What does it, you've all heard somebody bitching about something, and they're saying, oh, someone should do something. What does that phrase really mean? Anybody in chat want to sound off on what it really means? Oh, like, that isn't right. It doesn't work right. Somebody should do something. This machine is broken. Somebody should do something. This process doesn't work. Somebody should do something. Yeah. So, loyal chat here. I love it. You guys come in right away with the right answers, right? You say, not me needs to do something. We tried nothing and we're all out of ideas. Someone call the cops. Well, yeah. It's, oh, hey, Live Sports, you're here but on audio. Great. Passing the buck. That is right. So the key thing is what Sean123 said, and he runs his own business. He's going to join Amazon soon, though, which I like. So that's going to be a big upgrade for Amazon when Sean123 comes over. So I'm going to be really happy about that. But look, everything you guys said in chat is exactly right. Someone should do something means exactly anyone but me should fix what I'm bitching about, but I don't have a suggestion. It's the least ownership. We're big fans here of extreme ownership, right? It appears on our recommended book list. I wasn't going to talk about it, but we talk about it all the time. We're big fans. You can find this on my website, my recommended books. And down at the bottom, I think we have extreme ownership. Yeah, here it is. Extreme ownership's all the way at the bottom of the list. Probably needs to be moved up as much as we talk about it. Look, I'll switch back to the camera because I've talked about selective negligence now. Someone needs to do something is the most low ownership thing, because it literally is saying anybody but me should do something, something other. Like, I don't know. So I want to hand you both the problem and no solution. I don't have a suggestion and I don't want to be involved. Well, grow up. This is why most people are sad failures. And I'm going to, okay, it's an extreme statement to say most people are sad failures. Data backs me up. 70% of people hate their jobs. Okay? A lot of people, why do they hate their jobs? There's a lot of theoretical reasons, but they're not getting out of that job and into a job where they're valued and happy doing work they want. So most people want to pass the buck to somebody else and make them do all the work rather than do some themselves and stand out. So you've all heard that from me before, own stuff. All right, last thing. You've done one great thing today. Yay, you got up in the morning, you made it, you figured out what it was, you made it your first priority, you pushed off the bullshit. Look, for bonus points, you can do a second thing. But even one sets you apart. So I want to be clear. One thing is good enough, which is amazing. One thing is good enough. One truly valuable thing. If you do two, you're going to rise above. Maybe you'll have this incredible day where you do three. Trying to do one every day turns out to be super hard. Incredibly hard. All right. So story time, and then we'll go to questions. I now do this every day. Every day on my commute in, as a result of talking to you guys here on stream and not wanting to be a hypocrite, I set my priorities and I try to not let the sun go down on that day without something being done. The most important thing being done. And I usually succeed. I'm probably 80-90%, which is really makes me happy. All right. So the story is I learned to do this. And what I do now is I make sure my priorities, our group's priorities, are clear with the leaders on my team, that we all agree on them. And then I ask them, how can I help you? How can I unblock you? So I'm streaming in public. Mostly my direct reports, because they're very busy, don't watch my stream, but they have me recorded and they can always verify this. And some of my team members do watch. A lot of them like to lurk, actually. They never want to admit they're here, but that's okay. So look, the most important thing for my team as a leader is to make sure my leaders and I, the people who report to me, are agreed on our priorities and we have our next steps. And so my most important thing is providing my team clarity and then getting them the resources and unblocking them. So that's what I focus on every day. The point is you can figure out what this is for your career. And with that, you missed it, Snoops. Somebody, though, Westy's got you. It's a lemon drop martini. And we need good cocktail suggestions. The mixologist is in chat lurking. So if you guys, I have a sweet tooth, so we need, feel free to put your favorite sweet drink recipes for future shows. There is no prize for that, except you might get to see it happen on stream. All right, let's go to questions, because you guys have been good. Rum and Coke I like. It's a good drink. Unfortunately, my damn stepson drank all, and he's listening. He's in earshot. He's here. He drank all my Coke, and we haven't got more, I don't think. We have rum, so that part's good. Let's go to questions. We have a few in the question tool. One of them has a lot of votes. It's off topic, but since some people voted it up, we will take the first question and roll with it. And that question is, how do you apply for a job that you are overqualified in? If I have a graduate degree and the job is looking for someone who has a 4-year undergraduate degree, do I omit my MS on my resume? You put a smiley after that. Clearly not. Like, hell no. That would be crazy. a good question is, why are you applying for a job you're overqualified for? But if it's a job you want to do, as a manager, if I believe you want to do a job and that you're saying you're overqualified, I would say you're highly qualified. I'm thrilled. I want to hire the smartest, best person I can for every role. So if I have a minimum of a bachelor's degree or equivalent experience for a role and you have a master's degree, I'm thrilled. Why wouldn't I be? And again, we have a bunch of other hiring managers and leaders here. They will all verify for you. There's half a dozen or more in chat, probably a dozen. All of them will tell you they want the most capable employee. The only reason you ever hear overqualified is people are afraid that you're going to jump, that for some reason you're unemployed and you're in a rough situation and that you're only taking that job. You're only taking that job as like a placeholder until you can find something better. And there is someone on stream, he's not here tonight probably, but there's someone I've coached on stream who absolutely did that. He took a job because he needed a paycheck, but he's already looking to get out. That does happen. It is reality. Sometimes people are desperate. But yeah, Sean123, I care only about one thing. Can you do the job? Hephaestus, who, by the way, I got to meet him in person this week, so it's always nice. He's a Seattle local. I got to meet him in person, and that was really cool. We're gonna do some public speaking together. But the other thing is on Devin's stream, which you should always watch across our streams if I'm there, if he's here. I was able to give Hephaestus some tips that have doubled his response rate on seeking new business. And so that's what he told me. And so, hey, sometimes we have success stories. And that was a case where I felt like I nailed it. So that's awesome. Well, Kristen, next time you come out, we can have a meetup we do have some local Seattle followers of the stream. We can do a local Seattle meetup. And yeah, if you don't join our Discord, you should. Because Discord, we talk all week, and these great leaders who are on my chat right now hang out in Discord in the general chat. They review resumes sometimes, they answer questions, they give suggestions, they solve problems because we all love this. All of us want to get better together. So finishing this question, I agree with what Hephaestus said. If someone's telling you you're overqualified, it's one of those bullshit wishy-washy answers where they don't want to say they didn't like you. For whatever reason, it's just, well, we kind of feel you're overqualified. It's like a fake compliment. No, it's the date breakup. Like, it's not me, it's you. No, it's actually, I don't like you, but, or I'm effed up in my head. But it's like the date answer of, oh, it's not me. It's not you. It's me. It's, because they don't want to face up saying, no, actually, I just don't like you. Which is tough and awkward. I had to call a woman once who wanted a second date and tell her, like, I'm not interested. Kind of awkward. Like, she wanted it. I'm like, no. And how do you say that politely? But we're off topic. Saying this while holding a cocktail. Hey, if you can get away with living life while holding a cocktail, do it. All right. So I always chastise chat for this. There's a whole bunch of you here. And no question has more than 2 votes, which means I should go back to storytelling or ranting because you're not giving me any direction about what you'd like to hear about. But this next question is fun, so I will take one more and then I'll go off and do the question of the day or something. Oh, we got some voted. I'll have to take it later. All right. What are some good questions to ask yourself in order to figure out the most important thing? That is an excellent question. And Cloud Carry, I'll give you one for free. I can't remember the last time I ate a Cheez-It. But I generally like cheddar flavors. So what are some good questions to ask yourself in order to figure out what the most important thing is? Okay. Let's assume you work for a company. Companies, in the end, are designed to return money to shareholders. So the basic question is, what will help us make money? Now, companies make money in different ways, and you may not work at a company. You may work at a nonprofit. So the universal question is, what is our mission? What are we trying to accomplish? And so you have to know the mission or vision of the company, and then you work backwards from that. If you're a team within that company, what is the mission or vision of your team? And if you work on a given team and you have that, then what is the next step to get us closer to that goal? And it's really that simple. The key is you may have to be long-term. Like it may, there's this thing called local maximization, which basically means like it's how robots get stupid, because if you tell a robot in a general artificial intelligence system, go to the moon, the first thing it might do is climb a hill or a tree, because technically it's like 200 feet closer to the moon. But it's a useless act that actually gets you stuck, because now that you're up the tree, you can't do anything else without going away from your goal. So the point is, you have to think through what will really get you to your goal. Hephaestus says, and feel free if others want to answer this. I always say this, by the way. If I'm answering a question and you have better answers in chat or other answers in chat, sound them off. I welcome them. I like the question, what's the one thing I can do such that by doing it, everything else will become easier or unnecessary? Yeah, what will take me forward? What will bring me forward in what I want to do? And he attributes it to Gary Keller. So the question to ask is money. What's going to make us money? What's our mission? If you haven't read the book or heard of the book, Start With Why by Simon Sinek, which we talked about here before. Start With Why by Simon Sinek. Or if you don't have time for a book and you're all YouTube heads, which I hear, there's a 20-minute Start With Why video that most people say is as good as the book, and you don't need to read the whole book. So you like short, quick tips? Watch the video. Start With Why, and you'll get the whole point. You got to know why you're doing something. And if you're in a place where after true diligence, you can't figure out why the hell anybody is doing something, we go back to all my other streams where I say you might want to find a different job. If you ask your boss, if you ask coworkers, why are we doing this? And nobody, we've always done it that way. What value does it have? Another question you can think about is, a smart-ass boss of mine once said, what is the only thing a company needs to survive? It's a good question for chat. What is the only thing a company needs in order to survive? And we can debate the answers, but it's a fun thing. What's the only thing, anybody? Oh, Hephaestus, you're too good. Duke of Thought, both of you. Customers. The only thing a company needs to survive is customers. If they have customers, everything else is handleable. Now, Kristen calls that demand. That's another word for customers. The point is, you need to have customers. So, the last way I'll say, I said money, I said start with why and know your mission. The third way to figure out the most important thing is, what do your customers need? And even at Amazon, I work in a huge company. It's like 750,000 employees globally, 50,000 in Seattle, something like that. Customer means everything. But the way around customer meaning everything is, customer, in my case, is the Twitch Prime customer. What do people in Twitch Prime need? I can simplify it. What can I do to serve the Twitch Prime customers and have them love Twitch Prime? Have them love giving their Twitch Prime sub in this channel because it's free to them as a benefit. How can I make sure everyone knows to do that? So these scenarios are all you need to figure out the most important thing. So I could go on and on. We've killed that question. Let's move on, because now I get to answer the fun one. So mods, roll us to the next one, because it's fun. All right, next question. How do you balance the inner child, real you, with the professional you? Poorly. I had to learn this over time, and I had to get okay with less career success a little bit to do it. A little bit. I'll talk about that. The only way you get to balance your inner child and the real professional, the real you and the professional, is to get in a job where your interests align with the job. You're passionate about a bunch of things in your life. A lot of people here are gamers. Some of them are career climbers. Some of them are family people, skiers, bikers, whatever. One of my passions is coaching. I love to help people be better. So the way I meshed, as an example, my inner child with my professional you, this is work. I leave work early most days that I stream, because to get on stream at 6, I have to leave work at 4. Well, an Amazon workday does not end at 4. So my stream is work. Even though I don't represent Amazon here, my product serves streamers. Twitch Prime helps streamers. Twitch Prime is about Twitch. So I figured out, as an example, and then I will answer this question more generally, but I figured out, how can I mesh something I love, which is helping people get better at what they do, with something I need to do, which is eat our own dog food and use the streaming products that Twitch builds, and be in a place where I can talk to people about Twitch Prime, and they can yell at me when they don't like it, and I can get feedback, and I can learn what it's like to be a streamer. So the key is, you have to align your work and your profession with something you love. And this is an interesting point. I've heard that 70% of lawyers would not recommend law to a new student. They're like, yeah, I'm a lawyer, I hate it. Which is right in line with 70% of people hating their jobs. Now, the reality is, around the world, unfortunately, most people don't have much choice in what they're going to do for a living. They're starving, or they're poorly educated, or they're in, like, the majority of the world lives on like $2 a day by number. None of the people sitting in front of a computer right now listening to me on Twitch are in this situation. Your lives may suck some, but you have at least some choices, particularly over the arc of time. And pretty much anyone coming here coaching is in, if not the 1% of income, in the 1% of privilege around the world that has education, computer access, opportunity. You may not be able to choose exactly what you do today, but you can have a plan. See last week's talk, have a career plan to get your job in a place where you're doing something you like. So what did I specifically do? To go back to an example. 5 years ago, I was running the Amazon App Store. Now, when I started the Amazon App Store, which is on the Kindle and now Alexa, and also on Android phones, I was excited about it because it was a new project and it was a chance to run a huge team. I built a team of 800 people around the globe. I opened an office in Bangalore. I got to do all these cool things. But at the end of 5 years, I was burnt out and I wanted to move on. Well, I did two things. Number one, I took my boss at that time did not want to let me leave the job. He said, I need you in this job. We need you as a leader. I said, my team can handle it. Promote them. Let them take over. His take was, no, I need you. I said, well, you seem to have this idea that, I said it very politely, but I said, you seem to think the choice is between me staying in this job and me leaving. It's not. I want to go to Twitch and I want to work on Twitch. The choice you have is between giving me that job and having me leave altogether. So the first thing is, I was willing to make a choice. And yeah, Hephaestus says decisive. It's the book Decisive. Know your options, widen your options. Second, I then took a job under a peer. So I worked with a guy, Mike Frazzini. Mike had been my peer for like 6 years. The most fun job I could imagine working with Twitch on video games was going to report to him. So that looks like a demotion. I was promoted to vice president at Amazon before he was. I decided I didn't care. I took a job under him because I got to do what I wanted. So the key is, how do you balance your inner child and the real you with the professional you? You have to align the two, at least partially. Some of you may have heard of the website backcountry.com. Backcountry.com sells like ski gear for people who climb mountains on skis and climbing gear and all kinds of stuff for the great outdoors. The guys who founded it were outdoors people. The same thing with like Patagonia and North Face and REI. They were all founded by people who love the outdoors so that they could have the equipment they wanted for the outdoors. And you see this over and over again. You got to pick a job you're passionate about and do that. So I hope I've answered this question for whoever asked it. Sean123, was it a bluff or were you serious? I was completely serious, and I went and found another job internal to Amazon, and I came to him and said, I have this other job in hand, and once I accept this, because I'll be making a commitment to someone else, there is no going back on it. So do you want to offer me the Twitch job, or am I accepting this other job? And the other job was something I would have enjoyed also. I don't think I'd have enjoyed it as much. I was pushing him to get the Twitch job. But I explained, I'm going to do that. So, all right. Okay, sweet. Can drink the martini, but not the water. All right. Let's see. Next question. A lot of votes on this. Let's hit it. And then we'll do question of the day for fun. So if there's anybody lurking, question of the day is a participatory exercise. You want to log in and have a Twitch username so you can contribute. But this question is, if you disagree with something in a meeting, do you have a go-to phrase or approach to add your thoughts? Something other than starting with I disagree, which I've been accidentally doing. Yeah, so starting with I disagree can set you up in an adversarial position. The first thing you can do, again, if it's not transparent and it's not obviously bad, like obviously manipulative is what I mean by bad, is you can ask a question. So I'm going to give you a bunch of solutions here. Number one is ask a question. So let's say someone thinks, I don't know, you should invest $10,000 in option A. You could ask a question like, how else could we invest $10,000? Or if we invest $10,000 in option A, what will the return be? Or wouldn't the return on option B be higher? So ask a question. Just don't, there are ways to ask questions that are obviously not helpful. And so the obviously not helpful phrasing of a question is, so are you aware of how bad of an idea that is? Or as Duke of Thought just said, do you know that's stupid? That will not, that you might as well just start with I disagree. So ask a question is a good one. The second thing you can say is, well, I have another perspective. You can also ask for permission. Can I share another perspective? Now, interestingly, nobody has the balls to say, nope, don't want to hear another opinion. So this is a false question. But the act of them saying, sure, we'd love to hear from you, because that's all they can say, because otherwise they sound like a total jerk, is the act of them saying, yeah, absolutely, we'd love to hear your perspective. Now they actually mentally, even if they're thinking, I don't want to hear your fucking perspective, once they say the words, your words in your mind are connected in a way that you can't escape. And so once you get them to say the words, I'd love to hear your opinion, or I'd love to hear your insight, they actually are stuck believing that. Because it turns out it's really hard to say one thing and believe another. Now, you may know people who do it all the time. And yes, people do lie. They do say things they don't mean. But they have to maintain this cognitive dissonance, and that takes a lot of energy. So the act of saying, I want to hear from you, makes them actually want to hear from you. And offering an opinion or a perspective is very good. And Hephaestus nails something here. God, I'm glad you're here, buddy. Thank you. Try to make the discussion about what you disagree with the idea, not personal. People are incredibly defensive. We like to think we're rational, but we're really, there's a great thing. I don't know where it is. You guys can find it. There's this great article on how we're all status-seeking monkeys. And so the status-seeking monkey flips out and tries to kill when you question his or her status. And so if you say that idea, your idea is bad, I disagree with your idea, you have now set yourself up for the other status-seeking monkey to try to kill you because you've undermined their status. But if you say, I'm not sure that's a great idea, can we talk about it? Or even that idea is bad, you make it about something, not them. You're like, hey, the banana in your hand is rotten. Not, hey, dummy, you're about to eat a rotten banana. Very different things. The status-seeking monkey does not want to eat a rotten banana. So they're okay talking about, is the banana rotten or not? They are not okay talking about how dumb they are to be holding a rotten banana. So, yeah, don't call somebody else's baby ugly. So, ask questions, make the discussion about the idea, not the person, and ask permission to offer an opinion. And then state it as an opinion. Don't be like, if what your complaint is someone's like, I'm right, it's thing A, and you're like, I'm right, it's thing B, you're doing just what they're doing. Great book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. I don't know if it's on my book list. I'll go look. It should be. I think it is. And that book is 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Yeah, Stephen Covey. So you can find it again. My recommended books. Mods will probably beat it on chat. There's the website. Here's the direct link. Those books, one of the 7 habits says, seek first to understand, then to be understood. That has 2 things going on in it that matter for this question. And I'm glad you're asking, because this is a tip of how to be impactful. Getting your point across in a meeting turns the meeting from a busy work waste of time into impact. So it's on topic. Thing 1. Listening to people gets you new information, trying to understand them because they may have things that you can incorporate into your idea to make it better. So instead of being thing A, no thing B, thing A, no thing B, you can actually co-create thing C, which is smarter. You bring them into the problem solving with you. You don't argue thing A is wrong. You try to get them to help you make it better. So you say, well, the challenge I see with thing A is blah. How could we address that? What could we do to make thing A not have this flaw? You bring them into problem solving. Seek first to understand before you seek to be understood. By asking questions and understanding, you, 1, get information that may actually be valuable. Turns out, not everyone on earth is an idiot, and sometimes they have a pretty good idea, or a reason at least for their bad idea. Second thing, people want to feel heard. Status-seeking monkey. If you let the status-seeking monkey in all of us feel like we've been heard, we'll go along with almost everything because we're like, eep, he likes me. That's more important, it turns out, than thing A, right? So those are your 2 tips. That should be plenty of answer to this question. We only have a few votes for some of the other questions. There's a ton of you here. I love to answer questions. If you want me to keep going, bring them in. Meanwhile, I'm going to roll over for a minute. I'm going to talk about a book we haven't touched on. I'm going to bring it up on screen. as a great recommendation. And then we're going to do the question of the day, which is a weekly tradition. And then we might have one more rant in store. We'll have a rant to wrap things up. But vote on some more questions because we're early in the show and I can do more. Okay, so here we go. This book, if you don't know how to get off the dime and get things done, if you don't know how to get off the dime and get things done in the day, do this. Eat That Frog. 21 great ways to stop procrastinating and get more done in less time. The moral here, the story behind this is if you have to eat a frog in a given day, you probably don't want to do that. But they have a really neat thought here, which is most of us put off unpleasant tasks. And oftentimes the unpleasant task we're putting off is important, but hard. And we're putting it off because it's hard and scary. And we don't want to do it because we might fail, or we're not sure we're going to get it right, or someone might reject us, or we might have conflict over it. The point is, if you do the hardest thing each morning first, this is great. Your day gets easier because you've done the hardest thing. You're done. Now you get to go on to easier things. On the other hand, if you do what most people do, what I do, what all of us do some, is if you do some easy things, you start running out of easy things to do, and your day gets harder as your energy winds down. So you do a bunch of easy stuff. Now all that's left is hard stuff, and it hangs over you and like, oh, shit. Now I'm more tired, and I've been here 4 hours, and I still have that hard thing to do. And so you put off some more stuff, you do some medium things, and now it's 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, and you're like, oh, shit, I still have that hard thing to do. You're headed towards dread. Versus if you just eat that frog and do the hardest thing first, you're done, and your day gets easier. So it's really simple. It's really simple it's not easy, but it's simple to understand that if you do the hardest thing on your work list every morning first, your day gets easier as you go on. And if you do what most of us do and do the easy candy things first, your day gets harder. And which day do you want? Do you want a day where you coast downhill or you sled uphill? So, smooth-brained. You know, honestly, that's why you're here on my stream. I save you the need to read the whole book. But sometimes people want more detail. And if they want more detail, Kristen suggests we should add a way to gift Audible credit or books from the reading list. That would be really interesting. I'll think about that. But I love the idea. I love the idea of the fact that you all read the books and that you end up using them. So Hephaestus, I appreciate the testimonial. And it is a quick read. So Smooth, if you're that smooth, you can probably read it in the morning. It's not a long book. I don't pick long books, by the way. I don't have time for them. If a book's not quick or incredible, like earth-shaking, I don't read it because of time. All right, drink of the day has been drunk. It's time for the question of the day. So for those of you who don't know, quick review. Every week we do the question of the day or question of the week. The questions come from Arthur Aaron. They build relationship. They let us learn about each other and become a community. Last week's question was, what is your most cherished memory? This week's question, number 18, we've done this 18 consecutive weeks. We have a real trend here. What is your most terrible memory? Share it in chat if you're willing. And I love it when everyone sounds off in chat. I read them off. I'm going to pull them up here in front of me so I'm not looking off camera at them. I would love to hear what are your most impactful, what is your most terrible memory? And the reason we share this is so we get to know each other. And I actually haven't thought about this. So while you start sounding, Shadow Fox is here, being late to the stream. Hey, Shadow, thanks for hosting. Very much appreciate it. That is so true. I am sure that is your nightmare and your worst memory. My most terrible memory. I've had a couple nightmares that are pretty terrible. So you wouldn't say a nightmare is a memory, but I'm definitely, like, some people have falling dreams and whatever. I have a couple dreams where I've woken up in the morning and been like, oh, thank God I don't have to go to jail. So maybe someday we'll talk about the content of those, but it is a real relief to wake up and realize prison is not in your future like you thought it was 5 minutes ago. Yeah, a lot of stress in here. My most terrible memory. Well, all right. So I'm very personal on this stream. I was married. My ex-wife cheated on me. And when I found out she'd been lying to me, that probably is the low point of my life. It crushed me. That it's my most terrible memory. If I think about it too much, it brings things back very vividly. So sharing honestly with chat, my most terrible memory is learning that my ex-wife was unfaithful and had been lying to me. So, all right, JDXL, welcome in. Let's see. Think Banhammer, when my wife was robbed and I didn't know if she'd be alive when I got home. Holy shit. Yeah, that's terrible. I want to make sure I don't miss any of these. Abington, finding my ex cheating on me. There we go. All right, so Abington and I are right there together. Realizing people were lying about liking me and only wanted to use amenities at my house. Oh, wow. Ouch, Snoops. That sucks. By the way, where are you? Can I drop by? No, seriously, that sucks. And it's real. That totally sucks. Most terrible memory, Hephaestus, was the anxiety I had before admitting my parents that I was failing out of college. Yeah, so that's awful. That would be horrible anxiety and pressure. Perpetual white belt, same thing, the day I dropped out of college. I failed my first year at university. It was the most depressing and somewhat life-changing thing that ever happened. Horribly messing up a musical performance, living without the internet for 2 weeks. Oh, Duke of Thought, you are such a wonderful, lucky person. Making my mom cry because I didn't want to be responsible and wanted to play my video games. That's a bad memory. One others can share. So the university dropout thing is a lot of stuff. Like a lot of people have that. And we could talk about that. If you guys want that, put it as a question in chat. Form it the way you want, and we can talk about university and what it means to drop out or not, or get through or not. I did, but if you want to talk about it, get it in there and get some votes on it. All right. I'm going to start scrolling down now. I'm behind. Kristen, probably the day we got the call about my grandpa's car accident and he didn't survive. Yeah. Sudden, unexpected death is really hard to take. Hot as live. Thank you for being here. When I had to tell my parents and girlfriend that I withdrew from college because I had a gaming addiction. Holy shit. Yeah, this university topic is super popular. Put it in questions in some way and let's talk about it because so many of you have it. We clearly should talk about it because it is a career thing. Matchstick Man TV. And by the way, I appreciate the gifts you've given, you being number 2 in gifting on the channel. Former company went through a layoff, and I basically had to watch people as they were tapped on the shoulder and pulled away to pack up their things. Oh, these are tough. Man, I thought I was oversharing, and you collectively are sharing super hard stuff. I love the fact we have a community that can do that. And please, nobody be a troll here. I don't want to have to ban anybody. I love the fact we have a community where people can share honestly and we don't have to punt anyone. Smooth Brain, having my mom drive me to go pick up my girlfriend from the airport when I was 18 and could drive, but I was too scared to drive. Okay. You were too scared to meet your girlfriend in person or too scared to make the car drive? That's kind of a fun memory, I hope. Color Supreme, what age were you and what did you do? I assume there's a missing phrase. What did you do to bounce back? I was about 35 and it took me 5 years. I'm a planner. I gave myself 5 years to bounce back from the the terrible experience, and it took me 5 years. Luckily, I'm remarried with a wonderful wife, wonderful stepkids. My ex-wife and I do get along. We're able to co-parent, so that's something. I see my kids all the time from that marriage. My adopted daughter, my adopted daughter and the kids she had later in the marriage will all be out here for New Year's. So one of the reasons I won't be streaming is I'll be with my kids for New Year's. So, time heals most wounds. But I had to give myself time, and I had to, learn to value myself. All right. Lost in LA, phone died, sun was setting, the bus was going the wrong direction. Ether night. My version of that is lost in Italy on a train that was supposed to be, in my mind, going to Rome and was actually going south towards Sicily and not speaking any Italian. But we survived, and you did too. All right, Discord. Miscarriage of first child. Oh, Sean, I'm sorry. That's terrible. Poker, the day my father passed away. Duke of Thought, being a Zoomer is your worst memory? No, I know what you mean. Easy life. Two weeks without internet. Okay. Anybody else here? These are super rough. Can we have another drink now? That is not a bad point. I will be having another drink when I get off stream. But this is what makes us a community and what makes all of you founding members of the community. So I'm super glad you're here, and I appreciate all of you because the reason I do these questions is they allow me to get to know you and form relationships with you and for you to get to know each other. And clearly, the guy Arthur Aaron who came up with this was right. It gets people to open up. I mean, if you think about the fact that we're all sharing this incredibly personal stuff, that is what makes us a community. And that's why this is something I do for fun. Because being together, even though sharing isn't that much fun in this way, most of our questions are happy. All right, I want to get through the rest of them and go back to the questions you've put in our question widget. Smooth Brain, too scared to drive, meeting her for the first time. I hope it worked out. A little rough with your mom there the whole time. One time I texted my best friend. I love that your friend told you just say no. That's awesome. So that's awesome. It's me, Lyric. That's a great story. Pashi, thank you for commenting. 40 Pink Dragons, I can't even imagine. I missed her answer somewhere in here. So now I have to scroll backwards. Oh, going through a divorce. Oh, wow. Holy crap. Yeah, the threat of child abduction. That's incredible. That's horrible. I will say, because I can laugh about it and not about what happened to 40 Pink Dragons. That's a terrible story. I'm glad that didn't actually happen. My ex and I once had a candid conversation about how we both were thinking about killing the other. Like how we had both thought about it. Like, this divorce is so rough, it'll be a lot easier if we just bury the other person in a shallow ditch and cover them with lime. And I can say that on stream because it's like obviously 20 years later and we didn't do it, or 15 years later. But it was just really interesting because we're having like this, how are we going to work this out? How are we going to go through a divorce? And we both just talked about it. Well, everybody thinks it, right? Only certain people admit it. But in really, like, they all think like, oh, to be some, they don't think about killing the other person, but they think, oh, if just like a giant meteor from space would fall on their head, it would be so much easier. So if you don't like the active version, everybody's thought the passive version. So what else we got here? And then Sicily is superior. I agree. I actually would love to go to Sicily. It's on my list. Everything is on my list. Hard question. I haven't lost anyone close to my life and very fortunate. Lassiter, that's fantastic. If you don't have a worse memory, that's great. JDXL, all my friends stopped contacting me after I decided to stop my education. Yeah, that happens. It's not they hate you, by the way. It's they don't know what to say to you. Eon Hourglass, I dropped out of college due to a gaming addiction. So for all of you people talking about gaming addictions, I don't know if you know this guy from Devon Stream, Dr. Kanagia. He's now really big on Twitch. He goes by the channel Healthy Gamer GG. I'm actually going to do a couple streams with him in January where we're going to talk about workplace stress and imposter syndrome. So, Shadow, you're going to want to catch those because I know you think about imposter syndrome. He's a Harvard psychologist, but the main point is he deals with gaming addiction. And so if you don't know his channel, you want to get on that. And someone can post the link here in chat. I think it's Happy Gamer GG, something Healthy Gamer GG. I totally recommend him if you feel you have problems with gaming. Relive Sports, hard question, took me a while. Okay, so I'm pretty behind in chat. All right. Duke of Thought, pretty sure that's terms of service. I'm gonna bet talking about thoughts I had 15 years ago that didn't happen isn't gonna be a TOS violation. If I were talking about something I wanted to do to someone today, or something I still felt, then that would be threatening a real human being or something. It's probably TOS. But I don't think it's TOS, to be honest, that 15 years ago I had angry thoughts. So if it is, I guess I'll serve my ban. But I don't think so. All right. The day my 14-month-old got diagnosed with T1. I'm not sure I know what T1 is, ARCs for real, but it sounds bad. He was in severe DKA when we finally found out and had to stay at the hospital. I don't know what all that means, but obviously having your kids sick is a horrible feeling. All right. Yeah, Hots Live, his channel is already blown up. Okay, so cool. We've done a bunch of these. This was super fun. You guys are awesome for sharing and for being here. I'm going to go back to questions. There's a bunch of questions tied with 3 votes. So I'm going to give like 20 seconds because it means whoever goes and votes on anything gets to pick what we answer next. So it's like your voter challenge. You're all logged in, you're chatting, but apparently none of the questions appeal to you. So let me know what you want me to talk about. Meanwhile, let me give you a challenge. I'll do the second rant right now. So all through this show, we've talked about doing the most impactful thing, and we've talked about how to figure out what that most impactful thing is. And so now the question is, and a lot of you are students or in college or just through college, there's still, what is the most important thing you can do to get the most out of your education tomorrow? Make the most connections, learn the most in the right class, distinguish yourself from your peers, whatever it is you want to do. It doesn't have to be in a career. In college is a 4-year job. Don't mistake it for something else. It's a 4-year job where your job is to learn and to qualify yourself for the rest of your life. Yes, you can also have fun. You can go to some parties. You can meet your future significant other. You can make lifelong friends, all of which you can do at work also. So college is just your first job. And bizarrely, it's a job you pay others for the privilege of doing. So it's a job you really want to do well because it's your money and your future debt that's on the line. So the question is, we've talked about this. What are you actually going to do first thing tomorrow morning? Commit, and feel free to put it in chat. Make a public commitment and people will hold you accountable. What is the most important thing you need to do tomorrow and say you're going to do it? What is the most important thing you're going to do? The most impactful thing. So I will honor this. I'm going to pull up my schedule here on my phone. I'm looking down and I'm going to answer it live. But the rant is pick a thing and do it. We talk about it on the channel. Pick a thing and do it. Pick the most important thing. And if you're wrong, so what? If it wasn't the most important thing, if a week later you look back and you say, well, that was stupid. So the most important thing I have to do tomorrow, I have to get caught up on what I missed today. That's prep work in order to figure it out. But the most important thing, we have a big meeting, a big strategic meeting with Andy Jassy, the CEO of AWS. We're going to meet with him on January 3rd, and we don't have our plan together for that discussion. The most important thing I have to do tomorrow is feed in my team's parts to that plan. And there was a bunch of discussion I missed today. So tomorrow I need to get caught up on that discussion because I was out all day, and make sure we have the right plan in place. And if we do that, we get approval, we get budget, we get funding, and we know what we're doing for the rest of the year. My team's funding and headcount depends on it. Our sanity depends on it. And for you guys, because I build Twitch Prime, your gamer goodies depend on it. By the way, there's some cool new stuff coming out tomorrow. I can't say what. No teasers. Well, no specifics. But we have cool stuff. If you're in Twitch Prime, there's some good, there's a lot of content. This much I can say. The rest of this month is packed with new stuff coming out in Twitch Prime for holiday because it's Christmas season. All right. I'm going to read a few of these answers, and then we'll take the next question in questions. All right. Not my gamer goodies. Finish college applications. Good job, White Belt. Get back in there and kill it. Apply for the jobs I've not been wanting to because I want vacations. Pashi, you definitely need to apply for a job you actually like. Anyone find it easier to wake up for a job than school? Probably a lot of people. There are a lot of people who don't end up liking school. Hephaestus, I will prepare an annual report to retain a client who is threatening to cancel their contract. Damn straight. Remember to use the crystal tool to figure out that client's personality so you can tailor what they need to know and how to summarize it or what details to go into. Color Supreme, yeah, we don't do politics here. I have opinions, but we all do. It's just not worth it. Nobody will agree and everybody will be angry. But you're welcome here and don't feel bad. You didn't know, and we appreciate you following along. Who else? Pink Banhammer, +1. +1 to what? The views expressed are just me. Don't take away my gamer goodies. Aberton, where are you going? Hey, everybody, if you want in chat, talk about where you're going for holiday. So when my family's all together and we have all the kids from my new wife and I have the kids from my ex-wife, we're all going to Hawaii. And so that's why I'll be off stream. We're going to get together and spend a week on the beach. I hope you guys have some wonderful, beautiful place to spend with family and people you love for whatever holiday you celebrate. So if it's Christmas, great. If it's Kwanzaa, great. If it's time off and you could give a shit about any religion, it's great. But I hope you have a good time over our holidays. And if you're not in the U.S., I hope you have some other holiday that you celebrate. All right. Right up my intention to fill headcount. Kristen, sounds right up my intention? You mean your plan, like what they're going to do? Anyway. Pink Dragons, meal plans for holiday. Right at my pending bug fixes, splitting bananas. Fix my resume and LinkedIn with advice. Oh, good job, Aberton. We've got a lot on that. And I think I've heard a lot of feedback from people that it works. I got some testimonials that their phones ring off the hook. In real life Hawaii stream. Now that's interesting. I could take the laptop. I'll have to check with my better half on thoughts on that and whether or not we have the bandwidth. But that could be fun. I'm going to my cousin's house to watch his cat. Okay. I'm going to Las Vegas, then heading down to Phoenix, California, Maui. Snoop's Maui. All right. The Amazon. Live Sports is going to the real Amazon or into Amazon where he works. Sean123 does live in a vacation spot. He'll probably go streaming. Streams in the beach with a pineapple drink. That would be fun. I need to watch the LinkedIn stream. Yes, please do. Skiing in Vermont. All right. So everybody's going to have fun. All right. Oh, Kristen, good point. Don't ask permission, ask forgiveness. If you have a plan, this just do it stuff I'm talking about. Sometimes if you just do the most important thing, people will yell at you about it because they don't think you were supposed to, or they don't think you had the authority, or you didn't get enough permission or buy-in. If you're doing the most valuable thing to the business, you will generally get rewarded, even if some people around you criticize you. Listen to them, and if they're saying that it wasn't really the right thing to do, try to understand. If they're saying you shouldn't have done that, even though it was good, tell them to F off and go someplace. Either get your boss to like it and don't worry about others, or go someplace where doing impactful things is what people care about. Any good boss, and again, we have a ton of them here in this channel now, will tell you that if you do something that brings them money, that brings them and their business customers, that brings the mission forward that they didn't think you were going to do, but you did it on your own, they love that. And if they don't, go work for Hephaestus. Go work for Sean123. Go work for Kristen. Go work for somebody who appreciates what you're doing. We have lots of good leaders here in this chat. All right, let's answer this question. We'll do a couple more questions, and then I'm headed to dinner. Your opinion on calendars. I feel that using them actually reduces productivity as people try to maximally fill my time with useless drivel. God, that has some truth to it. My calendar ends up full all the time, and luckily I have a good assistant who tries to clear some of it out. Remember, just because someone put something on your calendar doesn't mean you have to accept it and doesn't mean you have to go. Here's a couple things you can do. Ask them what the agenda is. Ask them what the outcome is. Ask them if they can handle it in an email instead. Now, I'm lucky. I have a gatekeeper. I have an assistant who does all that for me, and so it seems less personal because it's not me saying, well, your meeting might be useless. Can we do it in a 5-minute email? Or do you have a plan for this meeting? Because that's intimidating. Instead, what they can do is the assistant can say, well, Ethan has a practice where every meeting has to have an agenda. Or Ethan wanted to know, or basically somebody else asked and said, I know Ethan will want to know, can this be handled as an email? If you had to do it as an email, what would you say? So you push back on all that stuff. I think calendars are a fact of life because sometimes you need meetings and sometimes you have to coordinate, but definitely calendars can be abused because, oh, I put it on your calendar. You have to give me an hour of your time. No, I don't. You can decline. So IOFault says, how can we say it nicely? What if we don't have assistants? So you're going to have to say it yourself, but there are polite ways to say things. First, it's not impolite to ask what's the agenda for a meeting. It's a well-known question. The second thing you can ask is what outcome are we looking for? And if people get their feathers ruffled, you say, look, I'm just trying to make sure we all make the best use of our valuable time. That's a little patronizing, but you basically say, I'm just trying to make sure that we're set up to be successful. I'm trying to make sure we all know what we're trying to get out of it. And if you really are sincere, and when you get to the meeting, you try to be helpful, not like, right? If you're actually trying to help, people will get trained and learn. Hephaestus, same thing. I want to be prepared for the meeting. He's actually beaten me on this one. That is much better. Pashi, you need anger management, buddy. I will say, I like you and you're working so hard, but you manage to turn almost everything into like the downside. People, I'm calling you out on stream and I hate that. I just say you always kind of see the negative version. Try and see the positive version. I'll hold up Hephaestus as an example. He's got this super positive version here of, hey, I want to be prepared for the meeting. You can say no. But I don't know. Pasha, you tell me honestly, are you a happy guy? Or I'm just curious because I ask because I want to help. It seems like you see most people as out to screw you. And that's like a painful way to live life. It might be true where you live. I don't know. But man, that sucks if it's true. All right. Iofalt, is this, I wonder, was this your question you asked? Because you're doing a lot of follow-up, which is great. I've tried it, but my colleagues that are also invited think I'm being dismissive. Just turn meetings into time where I pay half attention and still work. Yeah, a lot of people do that. They bring their laptops and they just type away. So I don't know. Like going to a meeting and half-assing it is real. I'll admit I do it sometimes. Everybody does. And sometimes that's because you are needed there in case you're going to be called upon, but you're not really needed for the whole topic. That can happen. But it sucks when, like, I try not to hold meetings because I'm the boss in many cases where basically it's a bunch of people sitting around a table to be an audience for my needs. That's me abusing them, so I don't do that. If I'm going to hold a meeting that's a bunch of people updating me one at a time, I'm wasting everybody else's time. And so I don't do those meetings. I do them one at a time or I tell them to email me. Bottom line is, I think Hephaestus said the right thing here, though. You say, I want to be prepared. And if you set that tone all the time and you are helpful, you can change some of it and you say no sometimes. And sometimes you just skip meetings. Like, if people won't get the hint and it's useless, you may have to say to them, pull them aside, not in public, and say, look, this meeting is not valuable. Like, how can we change it, or I'm not coming anymore? And then just do it. What's the worst that'll happen? They fire you? Like, declining to show up because the meeting is a waste is a powerful signal. And telling people, actually, I'm not going to come anymore because it's a waste, so you get fired. Go somewhere else. Again, I point out, everyone in this channel is privileged to some degree. You come from some amount of opportunity, education. You can read and write English, which is the business language of the world for most of the world. You have access to a computer. You can get a better job and a better boss. It may take time. It may take work. But you don't have to be a slave in a shitty situation, particularly not long term. Get out. There are good bosses who will reward you. All right, we're going to go on. How do you maintain focus on long-term goals? Write them down. Put them on the wall. I've shown before, I have like a dream board, a chart of the things I'm trying to accomplish in my life. You have to know what your long-term goals are, and then every day you ask, am I making progress towards those goals? So you break them down and you work backwards till you know. One of my goals is over time to have a big channel where I help more people like this, where I help more people like you advance your careers. And every time we broadcast, the channel grows. Our YouTube following grows. I have great people who edit there. And we're going to level up the editing shortly, actually. One of our followers who's not here tonight is going to help. But I maintain those long-term goals. I work towards them every day. So you have to know what they are. You can only have a short list of long-term goals. Okay? 2 or 3 long-term goals, maybe more, but a short number, because if they're really important, they're going to be hard and take time. And then you write them down on the wall. I used to have some stuff taped to my mirror so I would see it every day. I can smell food, and I heard the stove turn on, so I have to answer questions quickly now because I'm hungry. So that's how I maintain focus on long-term goals. People in chat may have other tips. I love it when chat sounds off. Put them on your phone. Put a reminder. I have daily reminders. You talked about calendars. I have a couple daily reminders on my calendar so that every day The fact I need to get exercise comes up. I have an 8:30 a.m. reminder, which hits during my commute to work every day. It says MF ampersand, so and MGT. And it stands for what is the most fun I can have today and the most good I can do today. So most fun and most good today. And those 7 characters, because there's an exclamation point at the end, prompt me every day to think about what am I going to do today. And that's towards my long-term goals. I want to do good and have fun. So, and I have to have some specificity. I have fun by streaming with you. I do good by streaming with you. I have fun by building cool and innovating things at Amazon. And I do good by bringing them to you, the customers, and letting you enjoy them, making Twitch a better place. All right, we're good with that one. We're going to move on. What advice do you give to those who failed or dropped out of college? So we're going to make this the last question for tonight. What advice would you give to those of us who failed or dropped out of college in terms of regret, failing to meet expectations? Oh, shit. So guilt is a monster, and dealing with guilt is beyond my scope. I don't have the expertise. I can tell you that's the problem, though. Regret is a type of guilt. You can live without a college degree. You can be successful without one. You can also get a job, earn money, and go back and finish college. But guilt is a killer. And I'm not an expert on how to get rid of guilt. Basically, you have to believe that you are a person with value and that you will get through it. And you'll either be successful without college or you will go back and finish college. And then decide which of those you're going to do and why. All of us will make mistakes in life. We will all have regrets. We'll all have regrets. But you got to move past them. I'm not an expert in how to do that. What I would say is decide, were you doing college for you or for someone else? Because most guilt comes from someone else's expectation. And a lot of us had demanding parents or helicopter parents. Parents are God's gift to guilt. They start in a position of total power over top of you when you're born. And that is wired in. No matter, both my parents have now passed away. They lived long lives. My father died at 83. My mother died at 93. So they lived long, full lives, but I'm still reporting to them. At some level in my life, I am still reporting to my parents. And I've had to get good at not letting that run my life, not letting that totally dominate me. And realizing I'm going to live for me. Sure, I care about what they think, but I'm not going to let it drive me. The point here is, who are you going to college for? If it was for somebody else and you truly don't care, move on with your life as best you can. Get counseling or therapy if that's what you need. Go see Healthy Gamer GG and ask him questions about it. It's a good Dr. K question, as Pashi says. Pashi, thank you. That's a positive confirmation. Awesome. Well done. That's the right thing to ask him. But go get what you need and move on. If it's something you want to do and it's important to you, make a plan of how you're going to get back and do it. Why did you drop out? What do you need to change about dropping out or failing out? And then how are you going to make those changes and how are you going to go do it? I would believe that everyone here in this chat, from your discussions and your depth of character, can easily go through college if that's what you want to do. So the real question at some level is, why didn't it matter that much to you? What led you away? Fix that problem and go back if you want. So with that, I see there are other questions. Maybe we'll tackle them another time. I appreciate all of you. It's been a great stream. I want to wish you a happy holiday of your choice. Our next stream will be with Kristen, January 8th. Devin and I are going to plan an incredible new show for January. We're going to take more time to do that. Blaine, I see your comment that you were lazy. Maybe. But we're going to be back. We'll be back just after Christmas. We might do the Hawaii stream. If it's going to happen, I will try to get it out to you with a little notice. I'll try to post it. I don't know if that'll happen, but it would be fun. I need to try streaming remotely, see about taking the gear. So we might try it just to see if we can make it work. I'll say now, if all of my loyal fans are there for Hawaii stream, obviously it's going to be laggy, okay? I'm going to be coming out of a hotel on an island. So get over it. It won't be low latency. You want to see beach in the background. I might be able to make that work. We'll see. No, there is no Twitch pitch this Friday. I took it off the calendar. I announced earlier we had to cancel it because we need to plan it to be stronger in January. So we didn't want to bring you a half-ass show, and we're not gonna. So with that, cheers, everybody. Thank you for being here, and good night.